Hello, everybody. Welcome to another installment of Ranwin Parked. This is episode 38, recorded in the normal place, hopefully without the weird doubled audio. Thank you, everybody, for not attacking us for having weird doubled audio on that last episode. But there was some weird things going on between myself, ZK, and Kurt J. Mac. Mostly in that we were confusing the crap out of Kurt J. Mac.
Yes, this is very true. I am still confused slightly.
Yeah, I think we need to start this episode with cluing in Kurt on what happened. I think it's pretty obvious by now, but if you didn't piece it all together, that last episode was recorded from ZK's on my laptop because I was there purchasing a truck to drive home the next day with Powers, who was supposed to be in that recording but was too shy and refused to show himself on camera, like these two. And maybe it wasn't perfectly clear, but yes, that was recorded remote because I was in the middle. Like, I had just driven there the day prior to get the truck and was leaving the next day with the truck. And now this is being recorded after that truck has been pretty much ruined. There's not much left of that poor truck at this point.
Our work here is done.
Yep.
What else can I take off of this thing?
That's every day I go out there and I'm like, But there is more to that, and that is like how that truck came to be. And apparently ZK has more to that I don't understand. So please clue me in. You seem to know more than I understand.
Yeah, so funny story. I had actually lined up no cougars this time, okay?
Aww.
I only have the one cougar story, I promise. For now. So before that truck, there was earlier, actually, I think it was the week before, I was going to go look at a truck in Dallas, which is a little bit further than the truck Cone ended up getting was from me. So that required scheduling a time for him.
I could tell it was at the fringe of our friendship. Like that was at the extreme of what you were willing to put yourself through.
Yes. For varying circumstances, it's like, okay, as long as it's within a day trip. So if I can get there and back within a day, that's as far as I'm willing to go. And Dallas is about that because that's a crappy drive.
And it's all Texas. Going anywhere in Texas is a day trip.
Yeah. So back and forth with that guy, and I think that truck was actually more expensive.
I'm gonna be honest, I barely remember it at this point.
Yeah, but it was roughly the same. It was what you were looking for.
Yeah. It had the check boxes.
But literally, I wanted to look at it or go on Friday because that was my day off. And it was a Wednesday or something. I was like, hey, could you hold it or something? I can get there on Friday. And if it looks good, I'll come back with it. And he was like, I've had 8 people message me all about this already. And then the following morning, I was like, so, what's going on? He was like, yeah, I sold it. That was within a day.
I vaguely remember that.
So, and that was one of the first trucks that was sort of reasonable to get, in the price range, had everything.
This is
close enough to someone crazy enough to go get it.
It's a real common thing now where trying to buy something is not easy because there's so much access to the ads, and they're it's gotten a lot more simplified. It used to be that buying things on Craigslist, you weren't really going up against that many people because they didn't understand how something that wasn't the newspaper worked. Now you're fighting the entire internet to buy something.
Yes, please keep that in mind for later in the podcast.
So that one fell through, and it was kind of disheartening because it was the first real like option.
Right.
Or
And also
whatever.
you had gone through the efforts of like getting
Talking to the guy
and getting
the
money
information.
out. Like you were
Yeah, I
prepared.
did. Yeah, I did actually start the process of getting money because with the way my credit union works, they don't actually have very many physical locations. So it was like, let's go to the ATM and get a stack of $20 bills. I have withdrawal limits per day, so let's start this now.
I went through that process getting the ramp truck of like, dear God, I want to do this tomorrow. How do I actually physically acquire this much cash? And I did some real things I'm not proud of to make that.
That's a real weird problem. Like, it's like, I have money.
Right.
This money technically exists, but how do I get it into my hands? That's something that I don't actually run into that often.
Oh, the joys.
There's a side funny story about the cappuccino regarding that, but it's another.
Save it for another Cougar day. Come on.
So anyway, this particular F-350 showed up. I think it was literally the next week
Yeah, it was pretty soon after.
because it was like a Tuesday, I believe.
Don't ask me.
Yeah,
It was a fine Tuesday. Winds were out of the east.
I actually
Sun was
called this
shining.
guy too because he was on Craigslist, and I just had this feeling that this guy is not a texter or an interneter.
I do not communicate with the internet.
Yeah, and it was good old Russell, fine gentleman. Anyway, so I set it up with him. I go to the ATM more and have a giant stack of 20s, which was pretty obnoxious, really.
I've done that so many times of like handing people a stack of 20s.
So I buy the truck and everything, and I've talked about various bits of this, and it's not really relevant to this, but drive the 2.5 hours home, might have been closer to 3. Relatively uneventful, which was perfect. And that like gave me confidence that okay, maybe Cone didn't make a giant mistake. Just a little one. Or a medium-sized one.
Are you worried that like if it broke down on the way back, you just have this giant husk of a truck sitting in your street?
Yeah, and like I have the ability to get it back to my place, but then it would be broken and a waste of money. Like imagine how awful it would have been if the head gasket blew on my way back.
It would have been pretty bad.
Yeah.
Would have been pretty bad. It would have been a very different like garage stream week. That's for sure.
So
Did you
this
mention
truck
last time,
doesn't
by the
have-
way? Did you mention last time about the money blowing everywhere?
I mentioned that you made me mention that in stream during one of your streams.
Oh, yeah. So like
So I had this giant obnoxious stack of cash. It was I think it was $2,800, if I believe was the
yeah, I think it was 20.
asking price. And most of that was in 20s. So if you do the math, that was 120s at least, which is a fat wad of cash that I shoved into an envelope. And when I picked it out from the truck that we drove up there in, it was upside down. And it fell out and blew out in the wind underneath the truck, which was devastating.
It's already such a nerve-wracking experience, like the whole interaction with strange people and giving them money and exchange for goods. Like,
Yeah.
for anybody that's remotely like social anxiety or introverted or anything like that, it's just the whole experience is basically the worst. So when your cash goes blowing through the wind, that's yeah, that's enough to make the old brain endorphin start going.
So it was. The truck has no working AC. I just drove 2.5, 3 hours back in it, and that was a very hot week in Texas. Finally get it back home, park it, walk inside, and then Banca has Cone Stream on, and he had just very then hit the $3,000 goal.
Right. Yeah, I did forget that happened. That I hadn't technically raised enough to purchase that vehicle at the time you left to get it. But coincidentally, by the time you got back with it, I had. But nobody knew anything about that.
Yes. So I actually had the truck for a full month before you and Powers came to get it.
Yeah, that did happen quite a while ago. We're pretty good at keeping secrets around here.
Pretty good. Yeah, the ZK's parking lot service.
I was so anxious that I was going to get like a note from the HOA or something.
That's a big honking truck, too.
Yeah, and it's not like all my other cars are at least visually like a car.
Right.
That one is pretty beat up and
like you already have one huge truck there too, so it's like it wasn't even the only huge truck now in the street.
not gonna lie, I did park it down the street for a while first.
This isn't mine.
Except for the neighbor that lives next to there had like a camper and he like parked it, like pulled into his driveway or like into the lawn, and I was like, ooh, I feel bad about this. I'll move it. And I did actually get a letter from the HOA, but it was about some like lawn not being trimmed, so it was fine.
Who cares about that?
Yeah, I was like, what are you crazy?
He did bring a Ford home. You know how that works on the
True.
the blades of
Yeah,
grass.
just respond to the HOA with like, listen. I just got the fertilizer. It's gonna be fine. No time.
The fertilizer.
Oh.
And then another little thing is like, I think last week, just a few days ago, I saw one of my other neighbors with like another, it was like an F450
Oh yeah.
welder cab chassis truck just with paper plates. And I thought it was kind of amusing that you inspired them, Cone.
I'm very sorry to them. Well, all right. That is officially the end of the truck that is now unaffectionately. Is that a real word? Probably not.
It is now.
Known as Sally, because we drove it home through Hurricane Sally, and people had a real problem with me naming it right before I literally took a saw to it and ripped out its guts. So you all caught up now, Kurt? You got the whole story?
I'm all caught up. I went through your video. I've been sitting here looking at your desktop on this screen and wondering where my D drive went. And I just started clicking. So no, we're up to speed, everybody.
I
Kurt thought he lost his D.
hope you find your D someday, Kurt.
I hope so too.
All right. Now that we've wasted 12 minutes of people's lives, Random Parked, including something that I hope to find someday. This is a pair of 1984 Subaru Brat GLs that are in the woods, with the woods, are the woods. The ad reads, "Not sure if I'm going to sell this, seeing if there's interest might restore it."
Sure.
1984 Brat comes with parts car. Random Parked has drive shaft issues.
What are
1.8
drive shaft issues?
1.8 converted to 5-speed. Have 4-speed trains available. Few dings in the rocker panel. Somewhere. Have better seats for it. Many parts available. Push bumper. Camper top available. Make a nice restoration project. Not enough time to do it myself. Feel free to make an offer. Not sure on the mileage.
But he just said he was going to restore it, but he's not sure.
He might. Might. Yeah, this is a sad state of affairs here. Because...
growing through?
It's growing a new exhaust, but it's...
Oh, that is an exhaust. I thought that was a tree.
You put some Ford on that, and that exhaust system will grow into a full catback. Yeah, there's a lot of vegetation They don't look that bad though, as far as
Oh yeah, the
rust goes.
outer panels don't look bad. Who knows what's lurking underneath?
Lurking. Probably some vegetation, some earth. Yeah, these are right up my alley though. I'd love to find a couple of these in a situation where I hadn't just bought a truck I couldn't afford. Because in need of restoration, but ran when parked, and I wouldn't care about cutting them up to make them into the right style brat. And the one has T-tops, and I really want one with T-tops, which I'm sure hasn't affected the rust situation at all. I'm sure the floors are fine.
Those never leak.
No, T-tops are fine. It's got the right. I love this graphics package too, like the brat bar.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty good.
I'm just. What are drive shaft issues?
Well,
I feel like there's really only one issue you could have with the drive shaft.
they're not communicating well with each other, Kurt. They're just they're not mingling well.
Drive shaft is acting up. I think it might be a grounding wire or something.
It could be. There is that whole meme on the internet where anytime you have any problem with a vehicle, people are like, it's probably the grounding wires.
If it's a Nissan, it's true though.
So these people probably went online and were like, my drive shaft's making some weird issues. It sounds like the grounds. I would save these if I could, but that's some quality Ranman Park there.
Mm-hmm.
If you needed vegetation for your bingo, this one's got a lot of bingo things in it, I believe. Sadly, no pictures of the camper top, because I would like to see what that looks like.
It's somewhere else in the woods.
Yeah,
Somebody's camping in it.
probably so. Kurt, J-Mac.
I bring to you a mystery.
I love me a
We
mystery.
have a food truck X project dot Opel GT classic car.
Is
as you
the
can see in the
Opel
picture here.
inside the truck?
You'll have to look at the continued pictures to find out, Come Dodger.
I need you to read the rest of this ad, though. Please.
Classic Opel GT, as you can plainly see in this header picture, complete project car, inside back of food truck project. It's a twofer. Buddy got bought out around Trinate, and I got lucky to get this package. I moved also and put in storage for a project next season, but the storage yard sold, and I'm bought. He's a robot.
Oh,
ZK, you can get along with him. Ready to house or work on the projects. My loss, your gain. Both have low miles, and we're decent. Shape be flew. They sat for a few years. Every thong is there, and I can arrange a tow for you. $350 for car, $1,500 for truck.
I think that's
Wait, package at
3,500.
$5K?
I think that's 3,550.
Wait a minute, this math isn't adding up at all. Just trying to do a fast one on this. Serious peepoke only. It's a fixie-uppy. Food truck, gotta sell by Saturday, so come get it, Ricky.
Ricky,
Of course
please.
Of course it's Ricky.
Ricky, come on. All right, let's see this Opel. Nope, that's a food truck.
No, yeah, not yet.
W8 Passat. That's a W8 Passat right there. It's got that freaky W8
And no door.
and no door. Oh boy.
Yeah.
Um,
How to get in the food truck? We'll never know.
well,
That's why it's a package deal.
oh boy,
Yes.
that's some interesting coloring choices for your upholstery.
Mm.
What? Wait, food truck? Food truck. Food truck?
I'm assuming this is not the dashboard of the fine.
Oh, that's it? That's all the
Sports car.
pictures we get of the
I
Opel?
know it is very sad. But I couldn't not use it just because. Obviously.
What's built
I
on
like how
top
the
of it?
heater
Oh,
is
okay, you can kind of see it out the back here.
Right.
What's that second level?
That's
though?
what I wanted. Yeah, what's above it here?
It's,
Like,
maybe
it's
it's
got
another
this-
car.
Look at this
You
whole
gotta
wooden
buy it
deck.
to find out.
Maybe
Oh.
it's living quarters.
That's pretty small for living quarters. Huh. That's a mystery, all right.
It is a mystery. These are good projects.
I mean, I don't really need food truck. I like the Opal. I like how it's like $3,500 for the car. Yeah, are you gonna get it out?
Yeah, and
That feels like a lot of work to get that thing out
I
of there.
will say though, I will want to point out that the food truck has some expensive wheels on it. Those aluminum Alicocas.
You would know things like this.
Listen, I have a weird history with food trucks.
Does this have anything to do with a
Almost.
cougar story?
yeah, it's almost as weird as your cougar history.
Completely unrelated.
Huh. Man.
I almost got thrown out of one once. Like, fell out of one.
Those are different things, my friend. Just like a cougar is different from a cougar. Getting thrown out of a food truck and falling out of a food truck are different things.
Well, yes, they were both, but thrown out not by a person. Anyway, that's a story for another day.
All right, so we put the W8 in the Opal, and that is an interesting. That's an interesting vehicle.
No.
Volkswagen hater.
Truck dash in the VW.
Oh yeah. ZK.
I have here a 1946 Jeep Not Sure.
Sure, though. Like the headphones.
Do I know?
Willis Jeep was running when parked, has PTO winch.
I feel like I need to go get my overalls for this. Willis Jeep was running when parked, has PTO winch. What
$500.
What more do you need to know? There's an engine and a garden sprayer bottle.
There's a lot of weird things about this Not Sure.
Simple green.
Simple
He's
green.
cleaning, or it's cleaned up, perhaps.
Wait, whoa. Perspective here. Is that a really tiny mobility scooter?
I think
Yeah.
it is in the distance.
Or just in the... Like, but there's a trash can. Everything about the perspective of this is hurting my head.
It's a giant simple green bottle. Okay.
It is kind of a giant simple green bottle, actually. That most notably does not have simple green in it, by the way.
Also, yeah, this caught my eye because it literally has no information, and really, this ran when parked.
Yeah, really.
Who told you that?
If there's anything I've learned from Powers, it's that Jeeps don't run to begin with. So
There's not even a radiator cap,
it started as a lie.
and there was like roof tin on repaired the rear
Oh yeah,
top thing. I don't.
thing. The
I don't know.
license plate has rusted away. If your license plate rusts away, we got bigger problems than whether or not it runned when park. Oh man.
I gotta imagine these roofed Jeeps are a rare thing though.
It's not
Right?
rare if you just go grab some
Then
scrap
again, this-
metal.
I was gonna say, yeah, it does look a little home built here.
Yeah. I'm sorry to say that I don't have Powers in the next room over to come in here and yell at us. The headlight's full of water. That's
Well,
yeah.
he was
This
just power washing it, so that's probably where it all came from.
It's got plenty
This-
of blinker fluid.
this is Ranwin Parked. This is the cusp of everything we mean about how irrelevant Ranwin Parked actually is. The show and the phrase.
At least they're only asking $500.
That's true. That's true. But at that price, it's like, well, we could pay somebody $200 to get this out of our yard, or we could put it for sale for $500.
Maybe we'll get some sucker to buy it and drag it out of here for us.
Powers. All right. Since we already had what mistake Powers would make, the mistakes of the week. Did you,
Is this another brat?
did you know that on the East Coast, brat season is at a different time of year?
Ah,
Apparently,
I haven't heard the phrase brat season in so long.
yeah, it's been a while since we've had a good brat season. You know, the weather just hasn't been right. But this one's listed as a 1978 Subaru Baja, which didn't exist. One Subaru Brat available that we bought in hopes to restore and honestly don't have the time. How many times have we heard that phrase on this show? Currently not running, but did run great. Needed a gas tank. We haven't replaced it, so it's been sitting. See, that's the kind of description that I believe. When you can say, like, listen, it was running, we knew it had a problem, we didn't fix it, it still has the problem. That's actual useful information. Brand new bumpers, miscellaneous parts, makes someone a great and fun project. They are like off-road golf carts. Okay.
I don't know that that's a term of endearment.
No. And here's a little phrase. Here's a little thing that happens a lot with Marketplace. If the ad's up, it's available. You know why people put that in their ads so much? This crap right here. Send seller a message. Is this available? If you accidentally click on that, it basically instantly sends a message to the seller asking if it's available.
Been there, done that.
Yep. I've accidentally messaged multiple people about things that I did not want to buy because I accidentally clicked into this. Stupid Facebook. But this also has a dog. I want a brat and I want a dog, so package deal.
Oh no.
Oh no?
It's a General Lee
It
knockoff.
is a General Lee knockoff. I hope that's where they ended with it, was
Right.
the 01 on the side.
Well, thankfully it is. But all I want this for is the nose anyway. I will literally just take the nose off of this truck, go back to the first set of ads I had this week, and there we go. My perfect brat situation.
Your compounding mistake.
Yep.
Yes.
Got some
'Cause
nice
now you have 3 brats.
got some nice moss growing on the floor. Don't even need T-tops for in the leak. But this one, I mean, they got new bumpers and new parts and things for
Oh, a
it.
different dog.
Is that a different dog?
Yeah,
That's a different dog. Yeah, that one's great. I got
So-
boxes of parts, Subaru genuine parts.
So they have 2 brats?
Yeah, they said they bought another. They bought this one as a project, but they already have a brat.
Oh, so are they selling the other one?
They're not selling the other one, just the bad
But-
generally.
But we want the other one.
I mean, we want the other one, but really, I only want the front end of one of these. I don't want the chassis of one of these because the second gen is a better car. So I just want to make
So-
a second gen with the first gen nose.
How mad would they be if you came and just like sawed off the front of this one?
How much were they asking? $1,000? Yeah, I would
Yeah.
probably pay $1,000 just for the entire front end. Just like hand them $1,000, pull out a sawzall, cut the nose off, load it onto the ramp truck, and leave.
Okay, bye.
I don't think anybody said that I had to take the whole thing. That's a continued mistake. That, I mean, it's much like the ramp truck. It's gonna happen someday, so you might as well just prepare yourself for it. Kurt,
Hello.
hi.
I bring to you Chapter 8 of Kurt tries very hard to make mistakes that don't want to be made.
Oh, does this go back to the thing earlier about how hard it is to buy a car now?
Yes, it does. Callback. I've featured a Subaru Outback XT here before. This is an '08 XT with a manual. Asking $7,000, only 137,000 miles, which is pretty good for a 12-year-old car.
Mm-hmm.
Timing, pulleys, water pump done at 110. Road trips daily, not any issues. They can't afford payments anymore and asking only what they owe.
What?
So they, and yes, this went levels deep. So yes, I contacted this person. I'm out $30 is what I'm saying. I ran a Carfax. And yeah, like apparently it was listed at a dealership for like 12,000. I don't know what they bought it for, but there's apparently 7 grand left on their lien. And I said, if I buy it, can we do so at the bank so I can just pay the bank and make sure that you're not just going to run away with the money? And they're like, yeah, that's no problem. Good times. And then because I would like to replace the Crosstrek, which is a fine automobile, but something more interesting and fun. What's that?
He was trying to figure out
no,
where this fit in your life, I think.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, no,
like, this is way too practical, and I was about to make
Right.
real fun of you, but
No.
to replace
Be a
replace the Crosstrek, that makes
yes,
yes.
be a daily replacement. It's got a turbo C, and so yeah. So because of that, I also wanted to get it, and because it's $7,000 and not like $4,000, I wanted to get it inspected real quick. So I found a Subaru mechanic and set up a time and a date, a Thursday morning, and you can click through the pictures. It's an Outback XT.
Yeah,
It's
we've seen them.
yeah, and this one like
It's nice.
it's a good color. It's not like black, but it's this like deep silver.
Yep.
It's got the black interior. It's a manual. That's an even harder thing to find with the XTs.
If I were to Subaru, this is the kind of Subaru I would Subaru.
As a thing to replace the Crosstrek, this is pretty good.
Oh, it even has sport and sport sharp mode?
No,
Yeah, that's weird. I don't know why
hashtag.
they and intelligent.
Oh, intelligent, yes.
I don't know why they put these on the manual cars. I always thought that just adjusted the automatic transmission shift points.
Must
you know?
be shocks.
But also, I guess it's like
It's probably throttle response,
Oh, yeah, because it's
or
e-throttle.
throttle mapping, or whatever.
yeah, real nice.
Real
Real
nice.
nice.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
And then that Thursday morning, check my email. Sorry, Thursday morning we had the scheduled to have the inspection, and if everything was good, I was just going to buy it. I'm very sorry, but someone drove up from Portland last night and bought the car for $7,300.
So more than you had agreed to.
More than I'd agreed to last night. So apparently not at a bank, which would be super sketch.
Yeah.
Not something I would ever do for somebody who
No.
wanted to be bought out of a loan.
Yeah.
Drove up from Portland.
Those dang Portlanders.
Somebody with less financial sense than you.
And I was all like anxiety filled with like, well, gotta go meet a bunch of people I've never met, and the same sort of thing, have a bunch of money, change hands. Oh yeah. The turmoil continues.
Adding it to the list. The RX-7 is on here. I was like, the RX-7 was the first one.
What's the top left? I don't remember that one.
The Valiant.
Valiant.
Yeah, the Valiant.
That was very local. I don't think I had that on a Raymond Park, but it like disappeared too soon.
Yeah.
You should add the Corvair too.
Oh, that's the one I forgot. I knew there was another one. Yeah, the Corvair.
Are you really up to 5 missed ones? Wow, that's impressive.
Where like I've actually contacted the person.
See, the problem is things are so hard to buy now, like I said, because like everything's so feverish, and used cars are very hot right now. Nobody wants to buy new. And also, Kurt is way too logical. Like, Kurt wants to do things the right way versus, you and me, ZK, we're willing to do things the wrong way.
Oh, yeah. I did not check the paperwork when I went and bought that truck, just to be clear.
Yeah, it's tough.
It's tough.
That's a shame because, that seems like a nice daily car.
Yeah. The Carfax was clean. It was like 3 owners. Came from
I
California.
think the universe wants you to have a Forester XT.
They want you to have the ugly truck version of what they want.
Mm-hmm. The boxy one.
The boxy SUV.
No, I'm talking about the one with like the little tiny truck bed on the back that they made with a turbo manual for like 1 year.
Oh, that's the
The
Baja.
Baja?
Is it the Baja?
Yeah.
The Forester is the SUV.
The Baja did have a manual turbo that is unicorn-ish.
Very unicorn, yeah.
Yeah. I keep an eye out for those too.
Well, The universe
Late
just
sigh.
won't let Kurt make mistakes. What a problem to have.
What a problem. Yep. I keep moving money out of my savings into my checking and then back again.
And you only have so many, like there's some law that says you can only withdraw so many times from your savings in a month, and it's really annoying.
There's a lot. I mean, I've never had a savings account, so I don't know these things. Before we move to depressing topics, CK.
Some people know I've been on a lookout for a Del Sol.
I didn't even know this.
Specifically,
News
I would
to us.
I would actually like a Del Sol. I think they called it the VTEC, which actually had the B16. Because there was also the Del Sol SI, which has the D series.
I don't know how I feel about the way that you say Del Sol is one word.
Del Sol?
Del Sol.
But it's two
It's like
words.
the Rio Grande.
Wait, what is wrong with Texas?
Anyway, so I don't actually want this one, but this one is cheap and kind of, I won't say it's nice, but it did catch my eye.
It is cheap.
It is cheap, and it's a manual.
Make a great hobby car.
Mm-hmm. I'm mostly through this in because the ad just cracked me up for various reasons.
Is
which
this a
you'll
picture
find.
from an original GoPro? Like,
So my best guess is that they have a phone with either a broken lens or they have one of those like wide angle adapters that you hold in front of the lens.
I would bet that, yeah. Because look at this. Look at the length of the car in the background there.
Mhm.
That ain't right.
That car ain't right.
Oh, whoa. That's,
No.
What is that leg
Also,
doing?
really, the mistake is these leggings.
ZK's fashion advice today. Yeah, that's a faded and not very well taken care of Del Sol.
No, but it's got like a purplish interior. I'm not sure if it's supposed to be purple.
Those are faded seats.
And there's like this orange stripe in it, and the camera's blurry.
They might be seat covers, actually.
Maybe, yeah, you're probably right.
That shifter looks weird.
So does the handbrake. It looks like somebody snapped it. Like
That's a Honda thing. Honda loves to have their e-brakes all the way at the top.
And those leggings.
It's.
But yeah, it has the tragic sun-faded Texas bad clear coat.
Oh no! Now it's starting to fog up. A lot of pictures. Not great pictures, but a lot of them.
No, none of them have the engine.
Oh, I was gonna say, like, yeah, where's the engine picture?
But look, the red line starts past 7,000.
Oh, it does.
So it could actually be an SI at least.
Right.
Maybe it is a VTEC. Because this person, I think the ad does say Civic.
Right. It does just say
when
Civic.
I first saw it, because I saw it when I was at work, and I like sent myself the link. It at first said it was a Honda Accord. So they might not know what they have.
Might not. Mechanic said it was leaking oil, but it wasn't a major fix.
Probably just a valve cover. It's fine.
For
And I
$1,500.
really like I think it was literally only 94 and 95 that the Civics, I guess all the Del Sols did too, have like the little, like the small headlights.
I thought that was just a Del Sol thing with the headlights next to the headlights.
I think they, yes, but yeah, you're correct. But I do like the face of these ones, and then like the 90, I think it's 3 and 4, maybe 5.
Civics with the small
Civics with the small headlights, specifically the hatchbacks, but those never came with the B16s in the US.
Of course, me being the ZK contrarian that I am, I prefer the next generation, the M1s with the bigger headlights.
Everyone likes the EKs, and
Listen,
they're
we don't
better,
all have to be
which
Civic
makes
hipsters.
them worse.
They're better,
They're
which
the
makes
better
them
car, and I don't
worse.
like them as much.
Well, I mean, if you wanted something that wasn't better, this one's for you.
$1,500, you could daily this.
And look at the bright side.
Guaranteed.
if the neighbors didn't complain about the giant F-350 in the street, they're certainly not going to complain about this little thing. Just go buy it. Just go buy it. Just do it.
They've only complained about the Saab once.
I keep forgetting you have this Saab.
You were there.
I know. Even as I was walking into the driveway, I was like, wait a minute. He still has the Saab. I should have just, like, towed it behind the Ford.
I would have let you.
Now, that would have been a mistake. All right. It is time for Mildly Interesting. I promise it's not another brat, okay? This time, I have for you the 2006 Saturn Ion Redline, which is a mildly interesting car because most people don't remember that the Saturn Ion was a thing, but it was in that era when apparently manufacturers thought the suicide doors for a coupe was going to be the savior of the two-door car. So is there a picture? Yeah, you can see it's got like a third door basically for the back seats. But these were kind of neat because it was the first one to have that Ecotech with a supercharger like the Cobalt SS. So this is basically a little bit larger Cobalt SS that pretty much nobody remembers existed, and they're all like riced out and modified because they're dirt cheap. So when you do find one, they're very cheap, and it is without a doubt the perfect gem car. friend of the show is in need of a good like first quote unquote performance car.
I do want to point out that the bumpers on this car are stock.
Yes, this car is...
I think the wing is also stock.
This is a stock configuration car, which is hilarious considering it's a Saturn.
I forgot these were supercharged. I thought they had the same like turbo motor that the Solstice had.
No,
but I guess the earlier ones were the supercharged ones.
Right. This is
what
the
is
previous.
up with that gauge?
It was also the era of the center stacks, just like the Mini, where they put the gauges in the center instead of...
Well, they still do that.
I hate it.
But I know they did that in the Scion XB.
Yeah.
And I hated it.
I think the Prius, I don't know if they still do it. I know Prii.
I mean, a Prius, I get it. You don't want to see the gauges anyway in a Prius. But
At least they have the boost gauge front and center, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, I do like the aftermarket boost gauge. Just like, don't give me the gauges? Fine, I'll put this here.
You sure that's aftermarket?
That looks aftermarket. It's got shift lights in it.
It looks pretty well integrated. It matches the stock gauges.
That's
Yeah,
aftermarket.
it's like-
It has shift lights.
Mounted. Yeah, what? Get that other angle.
let me see that other angle real quick. Yeah, that does look kind of integrated, doesn't it?
That's part of the...
I'm going to the Google.
You Google. But it's got like coupe style back seats, but they're moderately usable, unlike most coupes. So it was actually a pretty interesting idea. I don't think they're very attractive cars by any means.
And you were making fun of the third door, but I actually do like the third door.
Oh yeah,
and
I wasn't knocking it.
confirm that boost gauge is stock.
Weird. I can't
I see
imagine why
many a
General
picture
Motors
of
went bankrupt. Shortly after making this.
I think the only aftermarket things on this are it's lowered and on aftermarket wheels.
Yeah. This one's a little pricier. This one's like 3,600 or something like that. I've seen them as low as
That's
like
still
2,000.
cheap.
Yeah, it's still cheap. But it's they're very simple engines.
I can't say I like any Saturn after they stopped being plastic.
It's a bit sad, but
Yeah.
but it goes.
I'm sorry.
It goes.
Oh, you're talking about the supercharger.
Yeah.
Toaster was literally making that noise in the other room right as you were saying that.
Did you know that you have a supercharged cat?
I do now.
Episode title. Gonna go ahead and write that down because we've been really bad about remembering that lately.
Oh god, it's such a problem. People don't realize how much of like a problem that I don't know.
Yeah. It's a big debate every time. But yeah, I think they're neat cars. They're not terribly interesting. They didn't make a ton of them. I don't, even though it's rare, I don't
Those
think you're
might
gonna have
actually
people
be the
be like,
stock wheels. What?
you're not. These aren't.
Those are stock wheels.
These aren't.
No. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, different eras of picture. But yeah, I think it'd be a good first car. It'd probably be, if you're just starting autocross or something like that, probably be a hoot.
No, this would be a great car.
But I mean, it is an early 2000s General Motor, so I'm sure it's a heaping pile of crap. And
fine.
it'll be great. It's a perfect first car. Even though it's not really his first car, I'm just saying like first quote unquote performance car.
Well, first car that like someone didn't give you.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's an important thing. Kurt has been very quiet about this because
I have been. I
Really.
it exists.
So this is basically the follow-up to a Cavalier, right?
it's more the follow-up to the SC Coupe.
The front looks a lot like a Cavalier.
You look a lot like a Cavalier.
Thank you.
All right, Kurt, mild us.
Mild, a little bit too interesting, honestly. But
Too many Subarus.
Yes.
how many
People in your
it's
Subaru.
It's Subaru day, isn't it?
How about a 1982, great year by the way, Subaru GLF F for $3,500, price reduced, must sell. A one owner, 82 Subaru coupe. 5 years ago, the owner put $5,000 into it with a new paint, interior, and had the engine gone over. Runs great. Manual transmission, despite the ad listing automatic transmission.
Of course.
Has 223,000 miles on it.
It's got to be the nicest looking car with 223,000 miles on
I
it.
know. But hey, I mean, the SVX had 208
That's true.
or 10 or something like that, but it's pretty neat. It doesn't specify, but I'm assuming this is just the front wheel drive only.
I think by this era they were all front wheel drive.
Yeah.
Yeah, by coupes. Neat-ish.
Neat-ish, like for the condition it's in.
Boy. You can really tell it's an 82 just by how old it looks. Everything from 82 just looks really old.
I think the most interesting part of this car are the wheels.
Kinda, but they're also kinda ugly.
Yeah.
They're interesting, but not in a great way.
And what's with the double quarter window?
It's what makes a Subaru.
Oh no, I
Subaru.
think that one section in the rear might roll down.
Oh, maybe that's like the precursor to the SVX.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Or it
Such a
evolved.
sad butt.
it does have a sad butt.
Yeah, it is a very boring butt.
Pretty boring interior, but an interesting seat pattern.
I was gonna say that looks
if
like
you put it on your rad report, that seat patterns. Although that driver's seat's seen some butt in its day.
It's like it reminds me of like grandma's doilies.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's.
Oh yeah, the rear window does have a little crank.
Oh yeah.
Mm.
That's mild, Kurt.
In the 80s, is that so you could smoke in the back seat? Maybe.
Maybe. The classic 80s. 55 is the speed you should be going. Not to mention, that's probably about the top speed of this vehicle. Yeah, it's wild that they put so much money into it and made it look so nice.
True.
And it's probably like the nicest one of these in existence.
Very true.
That's the interesting part of it. But yeah, the GL Coupe did not get better with age. Like the early ones were pretty neat, and then they just got duller and duller, and then this.
This is like peak 80s bland. Not quite.
They peaked in
Kind of.
82.
Kind of, but not.
Yeah, that rear quarter window is too interesting for that. But yeah, like the basic rectangular
didn't have
headlight
that-
cluster.
Yeah, I mean, from the back here, without any context, I would have no idea what this vehicle is. Like, it could be a plethora of different 80s vehicles. See, they have a thing for Subarus, though.
There's that brand new Crosstrek.
That's you've outmilded yourself, sir.
Okay. I thought it was like too interesting.
No, I was
For super
Perfectly
fans such as yourselves.
I'm a little bit worried about ZK's because it currently looks like a wall of text. Oh, good lord.
Yeah, it was a lot of text. Anyway, let me preface this by saying it's from a dealership. However,
I want
Like-
it. Sorry.
like Kurt's entry, it is one of those ridiculously clean 80s vehicles. And it's an 85 Toyota Celica Supra, which is what Cone had. I'll just say it that way.
Sure.
But it's remarkably clean.
Love those wheels on it too. I love the factory wheels, but
I didn't like those wheels.
those are a nice
but-
aftermarket wheel for it.
They're not the worst. They're not my style. I can accept them, whatever. But like overall, the car is just in crazy good shape. And they
You gonna read
wrote a
this whole thing?
lot of words about it, which I really didn't read at all. I just noticed that they had a lot of words, so I put them in here.
I mean, if you really want to read all the words out there in the world watching the video, then, feel free to pause here. Nobody's going to do that. I
No.
do hate it
I
when...
was thinking that maybe they copied this from like some
I
like
don't think
car
so.
and driver
I
article
don't
or
think Car and
something.
Driver would mistake an inline six for a V6.
Yeah, so maybe they just really screwed this up.
It's renowned for being quite robust.
The moment you feel like hitting the open road, the fully independent sport suspension, four-wheel power disc
It's
brake
not
remind you
technically-
instantly of how the Supra has earned its legendary status.
It's not technically fully independent either, because the rear is that weird, tension rod setup. Yeah, a lot of words.
Yeah.
Mm,
Anyway, it's
it has the right wings. It
no
has the
louvers, but I
graphics.
think it works without the louvers.
I mean, it does work without the louvers. It's still got the mud flaps. It's still got the graphics.
The wheels, well, not my favorite. You like them. They do fit perfectly.
Right. Oh,
And
look
it's
how clean it is.
Mhm. They do have a weird aftermarket intake.
You have to do that because the original one splits in half.
But other than that, it looks 100%
Like,
stock.
the cruise control module and stuff is still anodized.
Look at the plastics, like the washer or is that the coolant bottle or
Right.
the washer bottle?
Yeah.
It's perfect.
Is that a light bulb on the left?
It's it's got a cord, it's got like a 5-foot
Flashlight.
cord on it. Yeah. It's so dim that you literally can't see anything with it, but
I bet that one's not dim.
probably not. Oh, the seats are in good shape.
Mm-hmm.
Did they come in
Like-
leather like that, or are those just like
Yeah,
reupholstered?
that's what Slags looked like originally.
Yeah, I
thought they were
thought
cloth.
that
Oh,
I
you
thought
see
that
this
they
thing?
were like aftermarket or replacement seats from a later model, but no, those are the stock ones.
You see this thing in the seat that looks like something you buy at one of those stores on the side of a highway in a weird town? That's the lumbar bag filler. So it's a little air pump to fill the lumbar supports in the seat.
Ah, lumbar bag. I gotta use that sometime.
Yeah, these seats are insane though. They adjust in 15 different ways. Like the headrest adjusts up, down, up, forward, back. They were wild.
Yeah, so other than asking a crazy amount of money for this, they wanted like 25 grand, but
I
at the same
wouldn't-
time, this
I
is
wouldn't
the
pay-
nicest one I've ever seen.
I've seen nice ones.
Especially for
$24,000
having
is freaking insane though.
190,000 miles.
I would never, ever. I don't care how much money I made. I would not pay $24,000 for this vehicle. That's just stupid.
But it's a dealership, so I that's why I gave them a little bit benefit of the doubt for being inflated on the price. Also, I didn't realize that the rear signal light thingy is bumped out in the body.
You know how much work I put into one of those on Slags because it was rusted out? Yeah, the one on the... Is there a picture? Yeah, this one on the gas door. This whole area was rusted out on his. I just thought that was kind of neat.
Yeah, it was an interesting detail that maybe they were all rusted out in all the other ones I've ever seen, so I never noticed it.
They even kept the original paint. Like this front bumper is supposed to be painted black, no matter what the other body colors are. You've given me a mild heartache, if that's what you were going for.
I'm sorry.
You know, he recently said he would sell that one to me.
For how much?
How much you think?
More than you were willing to pay, or otherwise you'd have it
I mean,
already.
yeah, obviously it was more than I was willing to pay because I don't need it, but...
What you should have done is like taken his price and be like, okay, so I spent this many hours on it. I charge $100 an hour.
Yeah. $3,500. I know.
Too bad you spent that on a F-350.
Will a Supra tow a 240?
Yeah,
Probably.
I think. Wait. Yeah, I've done that before.
Never mind.
Sorry.
That is very specific.
Very
random thing I said.
specific.
Is an SC300 essentially a Supra?
Basically, yeah.
I have towed a 240 with a Supra.
All right. Now that the heartbreak is out of the way. Kurt had heartbreak. I've got heartbreak. ZK, we need to break your heart right now, and I'm about to.
Oh, snap.
The best of ads from last week. We had Kurt's terrible modified MR2. It took me a minute to remember it was an
other
MR2.
than the paint, for the record.
You're gross. And then we had the battle of the house truck? House rod? ZK's shed on a truck and my...
It's a house.
Sorry. Shed house on a truck. And my drug-infused RV hot rod. And this one came down to the wire. I win with 84 votes over ZK with 80 votes. And Kurt proves once again that if you make people cry, they won't vote for you.
You know, I think I forgot to vote on this one.
So it could have been closer. See? That's why it's important to vote, everybody.
Yeah.
Yep.
4 votes. That's...
Your
I think
vote
that's
matters.
literally the closest we've ever had it before.
It's very close for sure. Considering we have
42%.
like 150 more votes on these now than we used to. Very close indeed. So,
I wonder who Rat voted for, because they never told me.
it's true.
My heart is broken, so.
It is time for this week's best of competition. Starting with... It's Subaru week. This is a 2016 question mark. Subaru Forester question mark. Seller's description. It's a mud toy. This used to be a Subaru, apparently. It's been cut and crimped back together into something smaller, including turning a 4-door wagon hatch thing into a truck with no truck bed. Because it's got...
That looks riveted on.
Oh, it's bad. Everything's bad. Like,
Yeah.
but yet you get to the interior and it's literally just a Subaru inside.
But like a modern one.
Right. Yeah. It's not even an old Subaru.
Like this is at least 2006.
It's pretty crazy. Look at the, there's no attempt made to keep anything even.
That's a structural styrofoam cup.
Mm-hmm. Look at the back window. Like they didn't even cut the back window into a square or rectangle. It's a mud toy.
This is doing the wrong thing the wrong way.
Yeah, this is very much so wrong thing, wrong way.
Oh, God.
Is there a head-on picture? Please tell me there's a head-on
not.
picture.
There's sadly not.
Oh.
Why would they? Why bother removing the whole front end?
So these lights, the little ones,
Mhm.
like actually all of them, these are literally from Harbor Freight, and they're
Yeah.
the cheapest LED light bar / lights you can buy.
The amount of attempts made to shape that hood that is bolted
One
down.
with a hammer.
Yeah. And then like this fender connection piece, like to take it from the fender to the like there were so many attempts made for no reason. It's pretty good. It's pretty
Like
good.
this looks like maybe. Oh, I was gonna say maybe it was rolled, but like the windshield's not broken.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously the car was beat up. But did that happen afterwards?
Yeah, that seems like a product of
Kurt,
creation.
Kurt thinks
Anyway,
he's so
like-
cool having Sparkos on his Subaru.
Yeah.
Could be having this. Now this is an off-road Subaru. Also, there's a cat. Also, there's these.
Oh.
Ah.
Mmm.
Well, I want to stop you there.
Off. You don't need seatbelts.
Right.
I want to stop you there.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't look like the ones you buy off eBay.
No, this is the seatbelts they cut off
Yeah.
and just put them
Yeah.
in. Which is even trashier.
There's nothing high class about this Subaru.
There's really not. But that front end, though. Good laugh.
I feel like it would have been better if they left it the way it was without the body panels, like just no bumpers or whatever.
better is a very
If it was
vague.
better, just wrecked.
Better is vague. Kurt. Oh boy.
Oh boy. What I have for you is a 1970 Volkswagen Beetle for $4,000, manual transmission. The boat car is 1970 VW technology. The car is a blast to drive, or a blast to run, and creates many smiles. And this is the sentence that truly broke me. It looks like a boat, but it's just a car. Really?
No shit.
Oh, okay. Thanks for clarifying that for me.
So it's not an amphibicar?
It's titled and cruising the roads of Washington since 2002 in time for a new owner.
No one stopped them?
Are those naked mermaid ladies on the back wing?
Those are mermaid ladies on the aerodynamic boat car wangs.
It doesn't look like a boat.
It really doesn't. Okay, from the front it looks
No,
like
it's
a
just
boat.
a car.
Does that say wargasm?
I think it says wargasm. I don't know why.
It's a cousin to the War Master.
No.
They're the same color.
Fender mirrors, your favorite.
I can't believe it's not a boat. I was ready to hit the high seas. Oh dear.
Yeah.
This like
Not even like the right proportions.
Why did they cut it so far down here?
Oh,
because they
man.
didn't want to fabricate doors, so it makes it easier to get in and out of.
It's true. That's long too. That's not like normal bug
And
length.
that can't be structurally sound.
But is it seaworthy?
You've got the front hatch.
Of course.
What I assume are, I don't know what those on top of the windshield are, bells or like.
Well, don't you have to have those like you have to have the lights that show up one color one way and the other color the other way so that they can tell if the
That's an
boat's coming or
airplane.
going? It's a boat thing.
airplane.
It's a boat thing. Oh boy. Orgasm.
It looks like a boat, but it's just a car.
You're the worst. Time for a new owner. Oh, good luck, ZK.
Grasping at straws here for our third Cushman truckster.
How
The
many?
first one was a pile of junk. The second one was, a decent thing. This one is what you could do with both of those if you put some effort into it. What we have is a zombie response team vehicle.
Like very small zombies.
I didn't say it was a good zombie response vehicle, just that it was one.
Very, very slow zombies.
Zombies who need a parking ticket.
You could have your very own 1990 Cushman Truckster zombie response car thing. It's got an 18 horsepower flat 2-cylinder, 3-speed manual transmission with reverse.
It is a rarity.
The ad makes no mention of the current getup, by the way.
Of course not. This has to be bored kid, right? Like this thing is sitting around and
I don't know. There is a dollhouse out front too.
Buh.
It's got a little flatbed rear end for your cooler and all the other things you need to haul around.
Literally the only design to the whole thing is they painted some things on the side, inside green, the front frame is green, and there's a hand in the grill.
There's also a bike light lock so no one steals it.
You don't want the zombies to run off with your Cushman.
Although I'm
put it in
not
their pocket.
sure these came in this flatbed-ish configuration, but they came in a lot of weird
Yeah,
things,
that's
so-
what we had one on the race team to like hold tires around, and it had kind of that similar bed to it. They are super annoying. Have you ever driven one, ZK? Like, have you ever been around
Oh,
one?
they're so bad.
They're so weird to drive because it's like a regular clutch and like that kind of manual, but the gears are just the gear lever is usually like up and down in the seat, and the H pattern is like, I don't even know how to describe it. It's like the H pattern is behind you, basically. That's how you shift. it
You
takes some
are,
getting
like,
used to.
sitting on top of the engine.
You are, yes. Yes. Zombie response.
Or is that like an air intake? So you get
I think
fresh
it's
air
just
in the
a
cabin.
Yeah, for the passenger or
Yeah.
driver,
I would
because it
like
does
to
look like it goes all the way through.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Comfort.
Because you'll certainly be getting speeds where wind will come through there.
This also looks like it was part of a yard sale at some point. Well, there you have it, everybody. That's an interesting assortment. So we got the off-road mud toy Subaru with its interesting... It said mud toy, didn't it?
Yeah, that's what it said. It's a mud toy.
It's a
That's
mud toy,
all
yeah.
it said.
It's a mud toy. And then we have not a boat. Definitely not a boat.
We're not
Or
legally allowed to call it a boat.
or a zombie response Cushman. Please put your votes in below. You saw how close it was for this past one. That's how important it is for people to vote on things. Does very large hand motion. And that will do it for this installment of Ran When Parked. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.